at KCSE or at high school level. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to commend not just Professor Ali Mazrui, but the latter day Mazrui in Ali Hassan Joho, who has now also become a great inspiration to many Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. It is not every other Kenyan who sits examinations at KCSE level or at O levels and qualifies to join an institution of higher learning. But right from the example we were given of Professor Ali Mazrui to the Ali Hassan Joho of today, he's exhibited to our young people that many of our own constituents, Honorable Speaker, a good proportion and a good percentage of our own constituents sit KCSE and do not qualify to join university. That does not mark the end of your life. That not qualifying to join university at Form 4 should not mark an end to your pursuit to better yourself and for academic excellence. The Honorable Ali Hassan Joho exhibited to the committee that he is now pursuing a master's degree at Harvard University in the Kennedy School of Administration, and is commendable, Honorable Speaker, and I want to commend the Honorable Ali Hassan Joho for not just being nominated, but also for exhibiting to Kenyans that he can also serve as an inspiration to younger Kenyans who should now know that you can get on a path for academic excellence, even having not performed so well at KCPE. Honorable Speaker, besides considering their CVs, the committee also invited the public to submit memoranda by way of written statements on oath or affidavits, as is stipulated in our Constitution and our laws, Honorable Speaker, in the Public Appointments Act, on the suitability of each of the nominees. Honorable Speaker, to this end, the committee received a total of 837 memoranda. And I must thank the many Kenyans who submitted this huge number of memoranda, and it tells you that indeed public participation was not superfluous, was not for the sake of it, that Kenyans in their numbers did submit written memoranda. However, Honorable Speaker, 123 of these were hand-delivered and 714 were submitted by email. Honorable Speaker, Section 6(9) of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act provides that any person may, prior to the approval hearing, by written statement on oath, provide the clerk with evidence. Honorable Speaker, it's important for members to note that, and members of the public also, that it must be written statement on oath or an affidavit and provide evidence contesting the suitability of a candidate to hold the office to which the candidate has been nominated. Honorable Speaker, out of the memoranda submitted, 181 complied with Section 6, subsection 9 of the Act, while 656 were not in the form of affidavits, hence did not meet the requisite threshold as per the law. Moreover, Honorable Speaker, out of the 656, some were actually in support of the nominees and therefore inadmissible because the law expects this Section 6 subsection 9 expects you to submit in written form and in the form of an affidavit evidence contesting the suitability, not supporting the suitability. So there are many Kenyans who wrote saying they support the appointment or they think this nominee and that nominee are suitable to hold office. A detailed analysis of the memorandum, Honorable Speaker, is contained in Chapter 3 of the report, and members can peruse to see that for themselves. It is also noteworthy, Honorable Speaker, to note that the affidavits were largely on the following issues. One was the dismissal from Cabinet by the President via Gazette Notice 8440 of 2024. Two, the allegations of corruption and abuse of power. Three, that the President appointing persons from the minority party should not have been allowed. And there were memoranda that was submitted on that basis. Four is that the list of nominees did not comply with the 2/3 gender rule or gender principle. Five is that the list of nominees did not reflect representation from special interest groups. 6 is that integrity issues and alleged violation of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, and lastly, alleged violation of Articles 103, 1E, and 194, 1E of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, it is notable that all these issues, and members and the public will be able to see from the report, were exhaustively addressed by the committee in its report. Each of these issues, Honorable Speaker, there is not a single issue of the 7 or 6 issues that I've mentioned here that have not been exhaustively, as you'll see in the report, been addressed, because we are obligated to do that by our own statutes, that we must address each of the issues that have been raised in memoranda. Honorable Speaker, additionally, 163 affidavits contested the nomination of 10 nominees on grounds that they had previously been dismissed from office, and hence they could not lawfully be reappointed to cabinet. Honorable Speaker, to this end, the committee observed that Articles 132, Sub-Article 2, and Article 152, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution of Kenya vest the power to constitute the cabinet solely on the President. The committee also observed that the nominees were not dismissed under the provisions of Article 75(2) of the Constitution and were therefore not disqualified from holding any other state office. Honorable Speaker, that point was canvassed in committee, and I know even in other fora outside the committee, this matter has been canvassed. And it was a finding of the committee, Honorable Speaker, that any of the nominees who has not been dismissed pursuant to Article 75(2) is not excluded from being reappointed after dismissal by His Excellency the President, and I think that was important to be clear. True, Honorable Speaker, the word dismissal is in line with the provisions of Article 152(2). And members, if you read that article, you will see that the article says the President may dismiss or reassign cabinet secretaries. Therefore, there is no option under the current Constitution to suspend or to ask someone to step aside. He can only dismiss you or reassign you. And when the President chose, as is stipulated under Article 132, it is prerogative to appoint and dismiss cabinet. When he chose to dismiss, in the words that are stipulated in the Constitution, he was well within his powers to do that, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, there is no legal provision that bars the President from reappointing any person who has been indicted as being unfit to hold office under Article 75 of the Constitution or any relevant law. In respect of the AG, Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that the nominee, the Honorable Justin Bidan Muturi, had not been dismissed as AG, but had resigned in accordance with Section 11 of the Office of the Attorney General Act in consultation with the President to give the President an opportunity to reorganize his government, as evidenced by Gazette Notice number 8440 of 12 July 2024. Honorable Speaker, the committee also conducted background checks on the nominees by seeking references from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission on Ethics and Integrity, the Higher Education Loans Board on loan repayments for those who had gone through our public and private universities and funded from the Exchequer, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations on criminal records on each of the nominees, the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties on holding office in political parties, because as honorable members do know, not a single nominee who is being nominated to serve in cabinet should be holding a political party office. And indeed, those that did hold political office, like the Honorable John Badi, the Honorable Ali Hassan Joho, the Honorable Ambetsa Oparanya, had evidence that they had indeed resigned from their party positions in ODM, the oldest party in our nascent democracy, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we also did get from KRA on tax compliance and the Commission of University Education on authenticity of academic certificates. And Honorable Speaker, it's important because I've seen many people doubting certain degrees, that in each of the degrees that were submitted to the committee, the Commission for University Education ascertained that those degrees and degree courses that the nominees submitted before the committee are recognized in the Republic of Kenya as degrees. Honorable Speaker, in considering the suitability of nominees for appointment, the committee paid due regard to the constitutional and statutory requirements relating to the offices in question and whether the nominees' abilities, their experience, and qualities met the needs of the said offices. Further, Honorable Speaker, the committee was guided by the constitutional and statutory requirements, such as our national values and principles of governance, the conduct of state officers, specific qualifications for appointment as cabinet secretaries, leadership and integrity prerequisites. And Honorable Speaker, it is in this light, Honorable Speaker, that we have recommended, having looked at the suitability of the nominees as was assessed after scrutiny of their background, their academic credentials, as I said, their professional qualifications, their work and professional experience, their personal integrity, as well as their performance during the approval hearings, the committee observed and recommended that all the 19 nominees listed, Honorable Speaker, without having to repeat the names in the interest of time, so that I allow members adequate time to consider all these nominees and have time to debate. That, Honorable Speaker, all the 21, including the Attorney General, the former Attorney General, Justin Bidan Muturi, Stella Soy, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, Alfred Nganga Mutua, that out of the 21 nominees, Honorable Speaker, that were submitted to the House, and I said I don't want to read all the names because they are already there on the motion, that we consider for approval the 20 and reject the approval of only one nominee, Ms. Stella Soy Langat. Honorable Speaker, in vetting and in considering the approval of these nominees, Honorable Speaker, the 20 nominees are recommended for approval to take office if approved by this House, Honorable Speaker, because all that the Appointments Committee has done is to consider and vet them for approval of the 20 nominees and to reject the nomination of Stella Soy Langat, who had been nominated for appointment to the Ministry of Gender, Culture, and Arts and Heritage. This lady, Honorable Speaker, is a career civil servant who has extensive experience in public service. However, Honorable Speaker, she did not demonstrate adequate understanding of the docket to which she had been nominated, and the committee found her unsuitable for appointment to that docket. Honorable Speaker, I want to draw reference to members on the report on page 238, Honorable Speaker, and you will see from the observations of the committee on observation number 8 on page 238, the committee did note that the nominee's experience in the public service is marked by very frequent job transitions in various roles. All the 6 different postings.
Give the majority leader 5 minutes.
I was winding up, Honorable Speaker. I was saying that the nominee's experience in the public service was marked by very frequent job transitions in various roles. All the 6 different postings that the nominee has held do not require any long-term strategic planning. As a result, she has not become grounded in any specific leadership role in the public service. And therefore, it was the feeling of the committee that if you had a nominee like this serving in a high office like that of Cabinet Secretary, she may not sit well to serve the public in a manner envisaged by our statutes and the expectations of the public. 2, Honorable Speaker, that the nominee under 9 failed to demonstrate adequate knowledge of topical administrative and technical issues touching on the Ministry of Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage, to which she had been nominated. Honorable Speaker, those who are watching, we remember a few of the unfortunate mentions of our honorable ladies without husbands, and this being a gender ministry, Honorable Speaker, it was a feeling of many people across the country that she may not sit well to address gender issues in that ministry. 2, Honorable Speaker, that the nominee is unsuitable for the position to which she was nominated, as she was unable to respond in a satisfactory manner to the queries raised during the approval hearing, relating to gender, heritage, and culture. Honorable Speaker, I will also want to close, Honorable Speaker, by asking members that being nominated to this high office of a cabinet secretary is indeed a great honor. And Honorable Speaker, once members of the public or even members of parliament like the Honorable Andai, Honorable Mbadi, and even the former governors who have been nominated to serve in this high office of cabinet secretary have been nominated, it is our solemn duty as members of the National Assembly to vet all these nominees, check their suitability to hold office. There may be a feeling, Honorable Speaker, that this or that nominee may not sit well in a certain docket. But again, in line with Article 152(2) of the Constitution, the prerogative to reassign dockets is vested on the President. Honorable Speaker, I know there are feelings that probably this particular person, his qualifications, his experience would sit better in another ministry than the ministry they have been nominated to. And it was our feeling, Honorable Speaker, in the Committee of Appointments, that we do leave that to the President in his own prerogative to realign and reassign dockets as time may demand and also as he may find fit in terms of where he wants to sit his nominees and his cabinet secretaries in an endeavor to deliver to the people of Kenya.